always gonna matter someplace. I hate to even think about it. He's alive! He's alive!
From the heart of Lovecraft country, in the birthplace of American religious liberty, welcome, welcome, welcome again to Shanthan Jetty Art. I am Shanthan Jetty, and it is a Thursday night. It's a Thursday night, which means we are talking about Pizza Live, Pizza Live. And I am very, very, very excited about tonight's show. As you can tell from my opener, I have been listening to and enjoying Art Bell lately, and I said, yeah, I love Art Bell. Art Bell is amazing, and all of that is, of course, true. And I started thinking about this show, this channel, my love of horror, my love of, monsters, my love of all of that kind of stuff. And this is a great movie, and we have a different format because, and I don't know, it says when a movie's in public domain, it shouldn't be a problem. But we're going to try this, and if, we run into trouble, we run into trouble. We're going to be watching together in a very special formatting that I built for this show, this particular episode, and maybe future episodes, depending on. We're going to be watching it, live on screen, and of course, there's a link if you want to watch it full frame in another window, but this should make it a little bit easier. And at the last minute, getting things ready for tonight's show, I remembered that there was a short, brief moment of nudity in the movie, and I went through the video and have a little bit of static to deal with that. So that's what happens, but let's see who we've got here in the chat for Pizza Live on Shanthan Jetty Art. Of course, we have got John in the chat. Welcome, John. It is great to see you. We have Awesome One here saying woohoo to you, my friend. It's great to see you. We have channel member Mark's Music Obsession. It is great to see you, brother. I hope you were doing well. We have Prater 7 in the house. We have Emo Trash. Is that what that's supposed to be in the house? My reading comp may be suffering. We've got Comrade Sammy here, and I am very, very excited about tonight's movie. So, for those of you guys who are probably familiar with it, this is probably not the even in the top 1 million watch along of this movie streams that have existed. This one will be a little bit different though, and I've got a lot of things about this movie that I love, but because this is the heart of Lovecraft country, and that is the heart of where I'm operating right now, I remember thinking to myself, one of the most interesting things about Night of the Living Dead, well, there's a few things, but one of the most interesting is the cosmic element of it. The sort of, the fact that the newscaster or various people allude to the fact that a space mission has returned, and is that somehow tied to this? It's left kind of vague, it's never fully explored, but it just adds that little extra element of both information and mystery, and I love that about it. The other thing, and why I think this flick is important, is not only did it come from a place that was affectionately referred to as Iron City, and Steel City, of course, Pittsburgh, but this is a fully independent film that was and has become an ongoing pop culture phenomenon, started by in a place where, there's not some massive push towards film or anything like that. So it is truly independent, and it created, and this is the thing that amazes me, it created a monster, so to speak, that has become as popular as Dracula, the werewolf, the zombie, the flesh-eating zombie that its bite turns you into a zombie, was born with this film, and that's what makes it so incredible to me. And I've just been kind of living in the realm of independent storytelling, independent comics. For those of you guys who don't know, again, my name is Shanthan Jetty, and I am an illustrator and artist of comic books and fiction. So I'm a writer-artist on a book called Nosfero, the Crypt Walker, that deals with Lovecraftian mythos, and also, interestingly enough, characters of faith in the grand tradition of Abraham Van Helsing. And that's the thing that I love about doing this kind of stuff. And so when I was thinking about doing this stream, my wife said to me, she goes, "What are you working on over there?" And I go, "Well, I want to try to put in a lot of time to every show I do." And she goes, "So are you going to have it where there's a TV set up where the movie is playing in the TV that is the same TV and room that takes place in this film?" I said, "Yes." And then she said, "So what are you working on right now?" And I said, "I'm adding a steam effect, a looping steam effect to a part of the frame that I think is interesting." Yes, you've heard of this book I speak of, says Mark's Music Obsession. Don't you know it? Don't you know it? So yeah, I am 100% excited about this film because it is independent. And I will say that the other aspect of this film that another one that interests me is it's a film that has been used to make the argument by certain people that all horror movies are political and that kind of thing. But not only is the genesis of this movie not political, the genesis of it was to try to make something more commercial. That was it. It was a commercial process. But you can read it in a lot of different ways, particularly if you understand what the script is. It's talking about, it inadvertently became a movie of artistic significance, but first and foremost, it was a you gotta see this film. And that's where all great stuff starts. It's a you gotta see this film. Oh, thank you. Yes, the 30-second spot I did. And that is a glimpse of how we're going to be watching it. So guys and ghouls, I hope you are ready. Let us begin. Let us begin watching Night of the Living Dead. And let us see if the stream goes down. I don't know how it works, but that's what we got. So fingers crossed that we don't run into any problems as a result of either technical difficulties or YouTube difficulties. We don't know. So here we go, guys. Let's visit where this stuff takes place. Let's visit the home where they hold up. And let me just read this real quick because my brother Michael Dice is in the chat and he says, if you read old commentary from the time of release, many condemned it as ghoulish and worse. Yes. Oh yeah. And all it took were the right people writing it up. And then all of a sudden everybody was cool. Actually, I think it started with the French saying this is an important work. And then everybody was like, well, we don't want to be on the wrong side of the French. This is how this stuff happens in fine arts circles. The thing is that the fine arts institutions are very good at doing what they rail against, which is appropriating things. They appropriate pop culture and other cultures and try to make everything a postmodernist, deconstructionist, neo-Marxist allegory. But in reality, throw all that out because you're about to watch a great work of independent cinema. You're about to watch a work about the human condition. And I'm going to try to present it to you today with this, visual setting at the very least, and hopefully with some fun commentary and your commentary as well, your participation in the chat, because it doesn't work without you guys. A really interesting watch experience. So let us begin, folks. And there will be no need for time codes tonight because you will be seeing this thing in real time, and I will try to adjust the audio so it's not too loud, but you can still hear it. So here we go. What a shot. What a great opening shot. Ah, the pizza. It's smoking. Can you see it? Just the steam coming off of the pizza. Delicious. Here we are. Night of the Living Dead. What an amazing film. Just the title. So iconic. Incredible. The technology has gotten so much better in this day and age. The technology has gotten so much better. It's the ideas. It's the ideas, it's the creativity, it's the connection. Amen, John, I agree. Yeah, I would do it this way every week if I could. And I'm gonna try to find films where we can do this, hopefully. Fingers crossed. Knock on wood, God willing. I mean, it's you know, what you say is so true. When people talk about the current state of pop culture, I always think, why are we just watching what's current? There are so many masterpieces waiting to be discovered by us. It's incredible. And there's no way we've seen them all.
They ought to make the day the time changes, the first day of summer.
What?
Well, it's 8 o'clock and it's still light.
A lot of good the extra daylight does us. Now, we've still got a 3-hour drive back. We're not going to be home until after midnight.
Well, if it really bugged you, Johnny, you wouldn't do it.
You think I want to blow Sunday on a scene like this? You know,
This
I
is what
figure
it's
we're
about.
either going to have to move Mother out here or move the grave into Pittsburgh.
She can't make a trip like this.
Oh, know that she can. Is there any of that candy left?
No.
Look at this.
You were
We
first
still
awesome
remember.
one.
I don't.
I took a note of
I
it.
don't even remember what the man looks like.
Johnny, it takes you 5 minutes.
Yeah, 5 minutes to put the wreath on the grave and 6 hours to drive back and forth. Mother wants to remember.
Look at this
so we trot
conversation. We're
200
getting an
miles into the
understanding of
country
who
and
these
she stays
characters
at home.
are,
Well, we're here,
but
John.
more
all right?
importantly, it's the kind of banal, casual,
Back on?
normal conversation.
Ladies and
Hey,
gentlemen, we're coming back on the air after an interruption due to technical problems.
And now the radio is saying something odd is going on. Everything you ever see in zombie movies has to pay homage to this, because this is... you can only make a... hope to make something that is as good as this movie for its
Which
time.
row is it in?
But you know, it's much like the car trip down to the trunk and everything at the start of Pulp Fiction. I mean, this is something indie films have been doing forever. And if you know where to put the camera and you know how to move the camera, you can overcome budget shortcomings, and it's kind of amazing. Cran was like, John wasn't in Gothic's chat, and I was like, yeah.
Well, it's late. You've got nothing
Michael
in here.
Deitches says,
Oh, look,
it's
I
actually
already
well
lost an
shot
hour's
and well
sleep.
framed. Amen, considering
I
the
think
budget
you
he
complain
worked
just
with.
to hear yourself
Yep.
talk. There it is.
My kingdom for wide shots in independent films. Hey, Cranberry, how are you doing? I was boxing up your books today. All I gotta
wonder
do
what
is get them
happened to
labeled.
The one from last year. Each year we spend good money on these things. We come out here and the one from last year's gone.
Well, the flowers die, and the caretaker or somebody takes them away.
Yeah, a little
Yep.
spit and polish. You can clean this up. Sell it
I
next
did, my
year.
brother.
Wonder how many times we bought the same one.
I love this. They've got the thunder.
Hey, come on, Barb. Church was this morning, huh?
That is so funny. They were desperately trying to shoot light onto them because it was broad daylight to make it look like lightning. They had lights right next to them. Chrome, how are you doing? Welcome, welcome. And let me make sure I see here. Checking to see everybody. Yep.
Hey, I
Sure, I
mean,
got it.
praying's for church, huh?
And he says, prayings for church. And you see
I
that
haven't seen
figure
you in
walking
church
around.
lately.
Well,
Now,
there's not much sense in my going to church. Do you remember one time when we were small, we were out here? It was from right over there. I jumped out at you from behind the tree, and Grandpa got all excited, and he shook his fist at me, and he said, "Boys, you'll be damned to hell." Remember that? Right over there. Well, you used to really be scared here.
Johnny,
You're still afraid.
stop it now. I mean it.
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
One of those
Stop
famous
it.
lines.
You're ignorant.
They're coming for you, Barbara.
Stop it. You're acting like a child.
They're coming for you. Look, there comes one of them now.
I mean,
He'll hear you.
Here he comes now.
this is
I'm
down
getting
with the
Joe.
Royale with cheese. Yes, that's from this movie, Cranberry Langers. That is from this movie. Timmy Mello, my man, channel member in the house. Oh, hey, the pizza is steamy. Oh, yeah. And hail the chat. Hail to you, Timmy. And then all of a sudden, their sibling banter switches, and this zombie that we don't even understand what it is yet seizes her, and he goes into protection mode, wrestling with it. And this is just amazing. And the zombie wrestles him to the ground, smacks his head, and there's another, get the light as close as you can and try to get that lightning there. And try to get some lightning on her. And now Johnny has just hit his head and is out and probably gone. They're coming to get you, Barbara. That's right. Gotta love it. One of the all-time famous lines. Yeah, I know. Oh, no, John. No. And she, of course, is trying to get into the car. And here we go. Yeah, poor Johnny. And she locks the door. And this zombie thing is not too... Yeah, this is a great flick. Yes, right. Why chase the woman when the food is there below him? I don't understand that to this day. That's kind of like running past a cooked turkey to catch a live turkey. Makes no sense. Agreed. That's the smartest zombie in the whole movie. It's true. Yep. It's a fantastic movie, Cranberry Langers. It's a fantastic movie done on a shoestring. Done on a shoestring. You could make a shot-for-shot remake of this on a cell phone. Would it be as good? Would it be? I mean, you'd have to know a few things about lighting, but someone once said that today's cell phones are higher resolution than the camera that Robert Rodriguez shot El Mariachi with, and it's very true. And of course, they actually did ding this car on accident and then worked it into the movie. Ding. They smashed the side of this car. And of course, she puts the car in neutral because she doesn't have the keys. The zombie is chasing her. She does all of the classic falls. Yeah, the later zombies are not that great. They're not that fast. He's greedy. He prefers fast food. It's true. He's cold, and if you're cold, he's cold. Let him in, says Timmy Mello. Let him in. Yeah, that zombie is rather energetic. That zombie had to have made it into the Thriller video because he's got the moves, everybody. I mean, one of the most fun parts of getting this show prepared for you guys, I can't overstate it, is tracking down what kind of Motorola TV, I didn't even know Motorola made televisions they used, and customizing everything for this. It's a blast. And this is a movie that I think should get everybody to think about the possibilities. Look at these compositions. You know? It's incredible. Yeah, they would really need to know how to flash somebody right in the face for that broad daylight lightning effect. Yeah, they talked about it. It was so difficult. That's why all those shots are in close-up, because the light was right out of frame. Maybe. I think that... I have so many jokes, I won't go there, but you can imagine. Yeah, he already has the stuff in the fridge, just has to go back to it, just wants to eat out. He does. He's like, I'm so tired of going to the fridge for the same old thing. That's how it goes. And of course, we get this iconic house, and this iconic house has since been torn down, but this house was going to be torn down at the point when they filmed in it. And they said, well, before you tear it down, can we film in it and make it a little bit stronger and fix the structure? And there wasn't even a road that went there, so they built a little bridge to get across this creek to make it possible. People use the term guerrilla filmmaking. I would say maybe the idea is this was, because that's a particular type of film, this was a lot more like, what's the word I'm looking for? Inventive filmmaking. One of the big things Robert Rodriguez talks about is the idea of, instead of writing a script and trying to figure out how you're going to get all the resources, look at the resources you have and write your movie around what you have. So that's really the smart thing about this movie. And again, here's the zombie. She goes into a room and you see all of these shots of taxidermy, right? I mean, how often do I look at this movie and think, wow, Evil Dead is essentially Lovecraft meets this flick. You know, that's what it is. The independent horror movie, and horror is the genre of independent films, you know? Yeah, you're right, Cranberry Landers. The shots in this are fantastic. Yep. Oh, watching a film crew is magical rather than inspiring. Amen. That BGM is definitely creating the suspense. Yeah, the background music is definitely creating the suspense in this film. Yep, and I believe it was stock background music that they used. Stock, totally free background music. Christmas lights glitter in a tube of water reversed and upside down. Amen. That's how it's done. And now, we're seeing some more. Yep. Merry Christmas indeed. That's the stuff of special effects genius. And what a great face he has for a zombie. Now she's gonna run upstairs. And then she sees in the house a dead body running through the house. Opens the door right into some headlights. And there we get our introduction to an amazing actor, Dwayne Jones. Incredible actor.
It's all right. Don't worry about him. I can handle him.
He comes and he's like,
find out about us.
don't worry about him. I can handle him. And already you've got these.
The pump out here is locked. Is there a key? We can try to get out here if we can get some gas. Is there a key?
So he says, my truck is out of gas. There's a pump out here, but the gas is locked. And we don't even have proper introductions at this point.
I suppose you've tried this.
The phone's dead. They're isolated. She's in shock. He has no idea where she's coming from. She has no idea where he's coming from. It's so fantastic.
Do you live here?
He doesn't know if she lives there. He's like, do you live here? Amen. And he sees the body and he's just like, ugh. Gross.
We've got to get out of here. We have to get to where there's some other people.
And his whole thing is, we've got to get out of here. We've got to get where there's some other people. He knows that the zombies are going to come as soon as they know that they're in that place. So he's got a little bit more information than her. As far as she knows, she's only seen one of these things. He's saying there are so many more. Oh, no kidding, Cranberry. My God, man. Oof. This right here is amazing, amazing independent cinema. So what I'm hearing here is that Sean needs to be taught a daily vocabulary word too. Oh my goodness. Oh, look at this. And she's still got this knife in her.
How do you think?
And she's like, what's happening? Oh! And they're smashing the lights on the truck.
Two of them. There are two of them out there. Have you seen any more around here? I can take care of those two.
I don't
I know you're afraid, but we have
I
to...
don't know! What's happening?
He's got moxie. I'll give him that. They don't like the light, and they're breaking the headlights. That's no good. All right, Cranberry, you take care, and you have a great evening. Take care, my friend. Yep. I mean, he's taking this guy down. That's not even fair, says Timmy Mello. Yep. You and me both, sister. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of funny when you think about it. Is she assuming he's an expert, that this has happened to him all the time, and she just hasn't heard of it yet? But look at these shots. And here we go. I mean, you don't have a lot to work with cheaper special effects. You got to handle it with lighting. So he's out there. He's taking out two of these zombies, I think. And he's got to head back to the house, but there's somebody else in the house. Yeah, these guys, they didn't make it to the cocktail party, John. And he comes in to the rescue. He's got a tire iron. That'll do. Boom. Okay. That's one way to use a tire iron. Oh. Yep, and that's a hole in the head. Whew. People don't give enough credit to the impact that the music makes in these old movies. You're absolutely right. I feel as though we only have one soundtrack right now, Mark. I don't know if you think that, but I do think it sometimes. And he's also realizing they don't like the light. Oh.
They know we're in here now. Don't look at it.
He's trying to protect her. But you know what's interesting about Dwayne Jones in this is that the character was not written with Dwayne in mind. So the character, and this is important to the ending of the movie and a lot of what goes on. The character was supposed to be playing the part of a truck driver who was very pig-headed, had a very, like, you know, his stubborn. He was like, I have to do this, I have to do this, I have to do that, which makes it into the script. The thing is that, you know, when you look at somebody like Dwayne Jones is a classically trained actor. And a classically trained actor is going to deliver his lines in a certain way to where it creates this interesting dynamic in his delivery versus his lines. And I think it's part of what makes the movie compelling. But he became a much more sympathetic character than I think was originally in the script. And that's one of the more interesting things. Thank you so much, Matt. It's great to have you here in the house. How are you doing? Yes, let's see. People don't give enough credit to soundtrack. Emo trash, laugh out loud. Quick, where's the distraction bunny? Yes, indeed. Absolutely right. So now he starts going through everything, looking for tools. He's very pragmatic, and this is the way he's doing things. Of course, she's still got that knife, a la Psycho. It's always good to have one of those knives. I mean, he's making short work of, this is some MacGyver stuff happening here.
Why don't you see if you can find some wood, some board, something about a fireplace, something we can nail this place up. Oh, God I know you're afraid. I'm afraid too. But we have to try to board the house up together. Now, I'm going to board up the windows and the doors. Do you understand?
She's
We'll be
pretty
all right
catatonic.
here. We'll be all right here until someone comes around.
Yeah, Amber's starting to come
But we
around.
have to work together. You'll have to help me. Now, I want you to go in and get some wood
Yeah.
so I can board the place up. Do you understand?
Absolutely right. And he's like,
Okay.
look, I'm scared too. We're all in this together.
Okay.
But I don't think that she's home at the moment, you know. Yeah, she's very good at being a useless petrified woman. Yeah. Well, you know, the thing that's so funny about this is that as far as who she's playing, you get the sense from their dialogue that her brother and her are supposed to be a little younger, at least to me, than they seem. And as a result, I think there's a little bit of a disconnect, but she just saw her brother, you know, killed like 30 minutes earlier. So on some levels, it makes a little bit more sense, whereas he's only seen strangers killed at this point. Yeah, various levels of trauma. Channel member Timmy Mello, absolutely right. And I would say that this sequence, they found this little music box and they just decided to film it as a one-off. Think of how many times you've seen that kind of thing used in movies. You work with what you've got. You work with what you've got, and you have to think about what you've got and how to cast it best. And it just creates a little moment to show that she's out of it. It's just incredible. It's happenstance. It's fortuitous happenstance. Just outstanding. The never gets cold pizza is going to get to me. That's right, I know. Don't come to the stream hungry with that pizza playing in the back on the side there. That'll get you. So she starts getting some wood. She starts to help a little bit with fortifying the location. That's right, you gotta get that snack to help with the energy levels, folks. Don't miss out. I mean, when you're in the middle of a zombie attack, for heaven's sake.
Not that strong. Yeah, I want you to pick out some nails. Pick out the biggest ones you can find. Yeah, this room looks pretty secure. If we have to, we can run in here and board up the doors.
He's coming up with a battle plan already.
Pounding their way in here. They're afraid now. They're afraid of fire. I found that out.
We're in the middle of a zombie attack. I'm going to be raiding the 7-Eleven for all the monsters. Yeah, that's right. That's what you got to do. Get that monster energy drink so you're ready to fight those monsters.
You know a place back down the road called Beekman's? Beekman's Diner?
And here's where he tells his story.
Anyhow, that's where I found that truck I have out there.
So he says, I stole this truck. I was at a
The radio
diner.
on the truck. I jumped in to listen to it when a big gasoline truck came screaming right across the road. But there must have been 10, 15 of those things chasing after it, grabbing and holding on. Now, I didn't see them at first. I could just see that the truck was moving in a funny way. And those things were catching up to it.
Ooh, Timmy, that sounds awesome.
Right across
Well
the
done,
road.
sir. Well done.
Slammed on my brakes to keep from hitting it myself.
Pete's alive,
Went
Timmy.
right through the guardrail.
He talks about, I saw a fuel truck being chased by those things, driving erratically, went through the guardrails.
I guess the driver must have cut off the road into that gas station by Beekman's Diner. It went right through the billboard. ripped over a gas pump and never stopped moving. By now it's like a moving bonfire. Didn't know if the truck was going to explode or what. Still hear the man screaming. This thing is just backing away from it. I looked back at the diner to see if there was anyone there who could help me. It was when I noticed that the entire place had been encircled.
Yep.
Wasn't
And
a
this
sign of
is...
light left, except
I think this is important for this movie's success.
by now
I
there
don't
were no
know
more
if it was
screams. I
how
realized
the
that
character was meant to be in
I was
terms of its
alone.
delivery, but this is what Dwayne Jones
50
brings
or
to his
60 of
performance.
those things, just standing there.
I mean, he's
staring at
talking
me.
about the fact that he's you
started
can
to
tell
draw
he's
that.
emotionally affected.
Plowed right through them. They didn't move. They didn't run or
I mean, incredible.
just stood there staring at me. Just wanted to crush them. They scattered through the air like bugs.
We were riding in the cemetery. Johnny.
Now here's
and me.
her story.
Johnny. We came to put a wreath on my father's grave. Johnny, and he said, "Can I have some candy, Barbara?" We didn't have any. And, oh, it's hot in here. Hot.
And he's like, uh-oh.
And he said, "Oh, it's late. Why did we start so late?" And I said, "Johnny, if you'd gotten up earlier, we wouldn't be late." Johnny asked me if I were afraid. And I said, "I'm not afraid, Johnny." And then this man started walking up the road. He came slowly, and Johnny kept teasing me and saying, "He's coming to get you, Barbara." And I laughed at him and said, "Johnny, stop it." And then Johnny ran away. And I went up to this man, and I was going to apologize.
Why don't you just keep calm?
And I looked up, and I said, "Goody." And he grabbed me. He grabbed me, and he ripped at me. He held me, and he ripped at my clothes.
I think you should just calm down.
Oh,
By the way,
I
just for
said,
anybody
"Johnny,
watching, telling a
Johnny,
woman to
help
calm
me.
down
Oh,
never
help
works.
me." And he wouldn't let me
Just a
go.
little
He
life
ripped-
strategy for you there.
And then Johnny came and he ran and he fought this man. And I got so afraid. I ran. And Johnny didn't come. We have to wait for Johnny.
Amen, John.
We better go out and get him. We have to go out and get Johnny. He's out there. Please, don't you hear me? We've got to go out and get him. Please! We have got to go get Johnny! Please help me! Please!
Don't you know what's going on out there? This is no Sunday school picnic.
Don't you understand? My brother is alone!
Your brother is dead.
No! My brother is not dead!
Jesus. Yeah, Johnny's dead. I think that's safe to say. R.I.P. Johnny. And you know, yeah, he ain't coming back, sis, and that was a heck of a counter there. So this is one of the things that is, what's the word I'm looking for? Seemed very odd and out of place with Dwayne Jones in this role. Do you know what I mean? I was thinking about his delivery where he talks about, and he's trying to get radio. And I was thinking about his delivery when he says, and they didn't move, you know, or he goes like, and they didn't even move. They just stood there. And you think about,
threat to untold
here you
numbers
go.
of citizens, and because of the crisis which is even now developing, this radio station will remain on the air day and night. This station and hundreds of other radio and TV stations throughout
Great
this part of the country
shot.
are pooling their resources through an emergency network hookup to keep you informed of all developments. At this hour, we repeat, these are the facts as we know them. There is an epidemic of mass murder being committed by a virtual army of unidentified assassins. The murders are taking place in villages, cities, rural homes, and suburbs with no apparent pattern or reason for the slayings. It seems to be a sudden, general explosion of mass homicide. We have some descriptions of the assassins.
But you think about somebody like Dwayne Jones delivering that line, then you think about somebody who was a little bit tougher and said, they didn't even move. I approached, you know, like it much more, not like, you know, they didn't even move. It makes more sense for some of the actions that the character Dwayne Jones is playing. That his actions would be delivered a different way. But I mean, what do you do? It's a classic film. Dwayne Jones was the perfect person. The thing with Dwayne Jones is that they knew him from film school and they knew he was the best actor in their circle of friends, and so they went with him. And I think this movie is so much richer for it. I think that they didn't really change the script much from what they had envisioned. And in a lot of ways, I think that Dwayne Jones kind of had, just with his inflection, a change on the narrative and the story and how it went. It's kind of amazing. Yeah. Every person should have an emergency shortwave. That is absolutely true. In case of a disaster. Absolutely true. Seriously, 100%. Yeah, we have a radio that you can wind up yeah, for power. So we actually have a wind up radio. It's pretty outstanding. Yes, that's wild. Unidentified sudden mass assassins. That's absolutely right. That's certainly not a concept in modern zombie movies, because modern zombie movies start with this attitude of we know what zombies are. At least, I mean, what's the word I'm looking for? They know the audience knows, so they don't waste time on that kind of thing. And that removes some of the fear. It takes away some of the what is happening. And of course, he's figured out that one, that chair is not flame resistant, and two, that they don't like that fire much, and it keeps them at bay. So there you go. Take care, Cranberry. Much love. We'll see you soon, sir. Yeah, I like the way they're breaking this down, but I don't think they even say the word zombie in this film. They're just called The Living Dead, which is incredible.
Says there will be an official announcement as soon as possible following that meeting. This is the latest dispatch just received in our news.
I can get Japan with my dad's old shortwave radio. Well, I hope one day that, you know, we can get a radio that picks up Art Bell wherever he's broadcasting now. Whether it's from the high desert or the Philippines. I miss that guy. I wish he was still with us. What a legend. Yeah. Oh, yeah, the taking of audiences as idiots is growing very old, and here's the other aspect of that, right? We need...
to bring you this news as it develops.
So what I'm looking for.
Stay tuned to radio and TV, and
we need artists and we need creators thinking about the audience. I wouldn't say it's not about thinking that the audience is brilliant or whatever, but understanding the audience as being it's sort of your obligation, or it should be your highest calling to entertain them. And if your highest calling is to bombard them with stimuli and not evoke different emotions and inflections in them, where everything is a sudden jump scare. And I'm not against jump scares if they're done well, because that is a part of the film language. I would say the Psycho shower scene is a jump scare for sure, or the top of the stairs scene in Psycho, which is probably a bigger jump scare. So, you know, it's not like it's a bad thing, but it's a part of the language. And the biggest aspect of for me, painting comic books, and why I like to paint comic books, and film for that matter, is creating what I believe Kurosawa referred to as an immaculate reality, which is to say, a fictional reality that is so completely believable. And when you look at what Dwayne Jones is doing in this movie, you get the sense this is a real house. Someone did live in here, and he's working with what he's got. It doesn't feel as though they laid out everything you could possibly need in this house. And that's what is crazy. Like, he doesn't find everything in his first pass through the house. He finds stuff as he goes. That's another thing I appreciate. It's incredible. Yeah. Art Bell, man, he does have a great legacy. However, it's always midnight in the desert somewhere. Amen. R.I.P. and God bless Art Bell. Yep. I mean, even we've talked about this before, but I've heard so many people talking about Alien. We've had some great conversations about Alien.
Oh, and these.
Became clear we were facing some kind of national emergency. When first reports began filtering in, newsmen and law enforcement agencies rubbed the opinion
This place is boarded up pretty solid now.
in nature.
He's putting shoes
Yeah,
on
been
her.
right here for a while.
Dramatically,
It's got like she's like a little kid, you know. It's like a
run of lawlessness.
Prince Charming kind of thing.
Suspect an obscure kind of
What a trip.
Sooner or later, someone bound to come and get us out.
creatures from outer space. So again, we join with law enforcement agencies, urging you to seek shelter in a building.
Wow.
Lock the doors and windows securely.
Hey, that's us. We're doing all right.
Cautious of any suspicion. And keep tuned to your radio and television for survival instructions
Yep.
and further details.
Absolutely has. Completely
Look, I don't know if you're
catatonic.
In the absence of any law,
But I'm going upstairs now.
it's almost as though some critical balance of
If anything should try to break in here, I can hear it from up there, and I'll be down to take care of it.
savage killers. We repeat, this radio station
Everything is all right for now. I'll be back to reinforce the windows and doors later. But you'll be all right for now, okay?
Excellent.
Okay.
Timmy Mello, channel member, says, one guy I can suggest to follow is John B. Wells, who was formerly on the Coast to Coast team. Excellent. I will.
having been partially devoured.
And of course, now he's facing the body at the top of the stairs, which they threw together with, like, you know, all what, you know, plastic, you know, model skull or whatever they used to try to make it look like something. And then they only had it in, I think, like one shot or so. And then I think it was just, you know, a friend of theirs that they just laid down for that shot because they didn't have the money, they didn't have the cash. They just had the creativity. And look at leaving that nice perspective of the staircase.
Consistent reports from witnesses to the
Brilliant.
affected
And look at
people
these
who acted
radios,
as though
too.
they
They're
were
so
in a
great.
kind of trance, were killing and eating their victims, prompted authorities to examine the bodies of some of the victims. Medical authorities in Cumberland have concluded that in all cases, the killers are eating the flesh of the people
And
they
here we
murdered.
find out.
Repeating this,
And the original title of the movie
received moments ago from
was
Cumberland, Maryland.
Night
Civil defense
of the
authorities
Flesh
have told
Eaters.
newsmen that murder victims show evidence of
And
having been partially
the
devoured
reason
by
why
their murderers. Medical examination of victims' bodies
that
shows
we have,
conclusively that the
this
killers
is
are
copyright
eating
free,
the flesh
and the
of
reason
people
why
they killed.
zombies are not,
Incredible story becomes more
what's the
ghastly
word I'm
with
looking
each
for, are not
report.
copywritten
Difficult
is
to imagine
because
such
when
a
they
thing
changed
actually
it from
happened.
Night of the Flesh
But
Eaters
these
to Night of the
other
Living
reports
Dead,
we have been
the
receiving and passing on
copyright
to you.
circle was
Reports which
removed
have
from
been
it, and
verified
people
as
thought it was in the public
completely as is
domain, and
possible in
it
this
was,
confused
for all
situation.
intents and purposes.
It is happening,
Unreal.
and it would appear that no one is safe from this wave of mass murder.
And then we realize we are not alone. She has that every ever so icy scowl, yes. And of course, now we realize that they aren't alone. That there were people in the basement. I love it.
Is true. No further details available at this time. However,
How long you guys been down there?
Incredible.
I could use some help up here.
Yeah, you could balance a pencil on those eyebrows.
I mean, you didn't hear the
Absolutely
racket
right, you
up
could.
there.
How are we supposed to know what was going on? Could have been those things for all we knew.
That girl was screaming. Sure, you must know what a girl's screaming sounds like. Those things don't make any noise. Anybody would know somebody ever needed help.
Look, it's kind of hard to hear what's going on from down there.
We thought we could hear screams, but for all we knew, that could have meant those things were in the house afterward.
And you wouldn't come up and help.
Well, if there were more of
The
it.
racket sounded like the place was being ripped apart. How were we supposed to know what was going on?
Now, wait a minute. You just got finished saying you couldn't hear from down there. Now you say it sounded like the place was being ripped apart. It would be
Here
nice
comes
to
that
hear
central
your
conflict.
Oh,
You know,
right.
what's
Now
really
you
interesting
tell
to me
me.
about this flick,
I'm
and
not
so
gonna
many
take
other
that kind
movies
a chance when we got a
of
safe
this
place.
sort,
We
is
want
it's
to
going to
a
come
safe
down to the
place,
human
and you're
condition.
telling us we gotta risk our
It's
lives
not about the
just because
technology.
somebody
It's
might
not about
need
any of
help,
that
huh?
stuff. It's about how do you write the human
All
condition
right, why don't
and,
we
and
settle this?
interactions between
We came
people.
up. Okay, we're here.
And everybody
Now,
in
I
this
suggest
has
we
got to
all
have
go
a
back
range.
downstairs
Everybody in this
before
has
any
got to
of those
be
things find out we're in
playing a
here.
different part. So now you've got this young guy, this
Most
older guy who comes up from the basement, who's a father with a kid and his wife down in the basement.
I'm telling you, they can't get in here.
And I'm telling you, those things turned over our car. We were damn lucky to get away at all. Now,
And
you
they're
tell me those-
disagreeing, and
those
his
things
attitude
can't
is
get
we
through
get
this
down to the
lousy power
basement and
world.
we secure ourselves. And Dwayne Jones's attitude is we stay up here and we've got to find a way to get out of here. And that is the part of this movie that a lot of people miss.
We could strengthen everything up, Mr. Cooper.
With all of us working, we could fix this place up in no time. We have everything we need up here.
We can take all that up downstairs.
This movie plays almost exactly like Dawn of the Dead. Yes, it does. And you know, another aspect of this, Timmy, is that this movie also has an element of it, of the limited set location, which is one location, and a little bit of 12 Angry Men to it, as far as a film reference. Because you've got a lockdown location, you've got an outside situation, and then you've got an argument over what is the right thing to do.
Well, if they're that
And that's interesting.
get us wherever we are.
Look,
Not that everyone knows.
the cellar, there's only one door, right?
You got
Just
kids
one
in your
door, that's all
basement,
we
that's
have to
right.
protect. Tom and I fixed it so it
Yep,
locks and bolts
absolutely.
from the inside. But up here, all these windows,
Comrade Sammy
right,
John,
you
I'm
never
making
know
more
what's gonna hit
chocolate
us
milk.
next.
You want some? Look at that. People sharing their treats.
But down in the cellar, there's
Yeah,
no place
12
to
Angry
run to.
Men
I
is
mean, if
one
they
of
did
the
there'd
great
be no back exit. We'd be
films of all
done
time.
for.
Fantastic.
We can get out of here if we have to. And we got windows to see what's going on outside.
I believe it was a play,
But down there, with
and then
no
it
windows,
became
the rescue
one of the
party
greatest
did
films of all
probably wouldn't
time.
even know it.
But the cellar is the strongest place.
The cellar is a death trap.
And he says the cellar is a death trap. The other guy says cellar's the strongest place. And that kid's inclined to side with Dwayne Jones's character.
Look, you two can do whatever you like. I'm going back down to the cellar, and you better decide. Because I'm going to board up that door, and I'm not going to unlock it again no matter what happens.
Now, wait a minute, Mr. Cooper.
No, I'm not going to wait. I've made my decision, now you make yours.
Now, wait a minute. Let's think about this. We can make it to the cellar if we have to. And if we do
Got a
decide
crash,
to stay
guys,
down
says
there,
Mark's
we'll need
Music
some things
Obsession,
from up
as
here.
I didn't get much
So let's
last
at
night
least consider
with
this
the
a
storms. Oh my gosh, yeah, it was crazy. Enjoy the rest of this classic. Shanth, this setting with the TV and pizza is amazing, brother. Thank you, Mark. I appreciate it, my friend. Guys like you make it possible, man. All my channel members, thank you so much, guys. We're going to try to give the best we can, right? Take care, Mark. Sleep fast, brother.
There are a lot out back, too.
Let's see here. Oh, and so here we get another thing. They're check. Oh, arm reaches in through the window, which does raise questions about the security of this, how secure it is, and then this is a rough one. This is actually hilarious. So he has a knife, and they start hacking away at this hand, and the hand was just this terrible clay prop, and it looks awful. George Romero still laughs about it. He's like, that thing didn't even work. And, you know, Dwayne Jones is like, okay, I got these guys. And shoots him in the chest. No reaction.
It's all right.
And now he's going to try it again. No real reaction. And then bam. Right in the head. And there is the simple storytelling. And look at this. Now there are a lot of zombies coming. Now, this is my favorite part of this movie. This is where your intrepid YouTuber realized that for almost no reason, there were a couple of nude shots of a female figure in this movie, and I was like, oh, I don't need my channel taken down over that. So I was smart enough at the last minute to go back and have the TV screen go staticky. And that's everything that's involved in doing this, guys. There's between packing and shipping books all day today and getting everything organized in this is all a part of being independent, guys. All a part of it.
I'm taking the girl with me.
You leave her here. Keep your hands off her. And everything else that's up here, too. Because if I stay up here, I'm fighting for everything up here. And the radio and the food is part of what I'm fighting for. Now, if you're going down the cellar, get.
The man's insane. He's insane. we've got to have food down there. We've got a right.
This is your house.
We've got a right.
You going down there with him?
Well,
Yes or no? This is your last chance. No beating around the bush.
listen, I got a kid down there. She can't possibly. I couldn't bring her up here. She can't possibly take all the racket and those things smashing through the windows.
Well, you're her father. If you're stupid enough to go die in that trap, that's your business. However, I am not stupid enough to follow you. It is
There you
tough
have it.
for the kid that her old man is so stupid. Now, get the hell down in the cellar. You can be the
Yeah, that's a
boss
bit.
down there.
It's funny to
I'm
hear
boss up
Dwayne
here.
deliver those lines because he's like, it's so brutal. It's like, it's too bad your kid's got a father that stupid.
I mean, Mr. Cooper,
Right.
with your help, we could. With my help.
Let him go, man. His mind is made up. Just let him go.
Wait a minute.
And then you see
Come on up here, honey.
him go to the top of the stairs and he calls for his girl. And there we have it.
You're gonna let them get hurt too, huh? It's all right, honey. Go ahead.
There you have it. Amen.
If we stick together, man, we can fix it up real good. There's lots of places we can run to up here. Mr. Cooper, we'd all be a lot better off if all
18
three of us
years.
were working together.
Hey. Hey, kid.
And we see she's still catatonic, but I believe it's Jenny, the love interest of the young couple.
I'm not boxing myself in down there.
There you have it.
On the air day and night.
Well,
Raising a child,
safe now.
says channel member Timmy
Hold it
Mello.
up tight.
Raising a child through
about
the zombie
Cameron?
apocalypse, a
They wanna
conundrum.
stay up there
Like
alone.
this could be exploited for a future franchise trope. You're absolutely right. Absolutely right. I mean, a lot of stuff, a lot of groundwork was laid here for things to come after.
Screaming.
Yeah, but I didn't know who they were, and I wasn't about to take any unnecessary chances.
Of course not.
Yeah, that's right.
Is she all right?
I don't know what it is. She feels
Yep,
warm.
you're
Maybe
absolutely
it's
right.
shock.
Michael Dice says it best.
Where'd
He
you get the
says
bandage?
pretty good insight about how different personality types
Laundry in a
actually
bathroom.
behave in a crisis situation. And we almost take for granted the things that this movie does so
Let them
well.
Stay upstairs.
Like, we don't think about this as an independent film. We don't think about this
Too many ways
as
those
a bunch of
monsters
young
can get
kids,
up
for all
there.
intents and purposes, getting together. So most of these
We'll see.
people were not actors.
We'll see.
The
When they come, maybe me let
woman
them
who
in down
was
here.
playing the mother of
That's
the
important,
injured
isn't it?
child,
What?
she
be right,
also
everybody else
did
to be
a lot of the
wrong.
What do you mean
makeup,
by that?
and in one of the later scenes, she plays a zombie. I mean, these
Does
folks
anyone
were
up there
doing
know why
everything.
we're
Some of
being
these
attacked?
actors were co-financing the film.
Whatever it is, it just happened
We're
here.
Coming to Get You,
Some kind of
Barbara.
mass
He
murder
was the
going on everywhere.
co-writer of this film, if I'm
Radio
not
said to stay
mistaken.
inside.
Radio.
Johnny was.
Radio upstairs.
It's
I heard
incredible.
the news bulletin.
There's a radio upstairs and you boarded us in down here?
I know what I'm doing.
What did
Yeah,
it
well, it has
say?
its
Nothing.
moments.
Nothing. They don't know anything yet. There's mass murder everywhere, and people are supposed to look for a safe place to hide.
Take the boards off that door.
We are staying down here, Helen.
Harry, that radio is at least some kind of communication. If the authorities know what's
Beautifully
happening,
done.
well, they'll send people for us to tell us what to do. How are we going to know what's going on if we lock ourselves in this dungeon? may not enjoy living together, but dying together isn't going to solve anything.
Ho!
Those people aren't our enemies.
Here you go.
Mr. Cooper, Ben found a television set upstairs.
So Ben, I can't not call him Dwayne Jones. Ben, Dwayne Jones's character,
If
finds a
Judy would
television
come
upstairs.
downstairs for a few minutes, Harry and I could come upstairs.
And here we go. Now we're going to get the television you're looking at right now, but of course in black and white, with the news. And I got to tell you, the one thing I love about doing this stuff on this channel, the one thing I love about talking about monsters and comics and you know, using this as a space to promote my independent comic book work and all the other stuff I do, is the fact that, you know, for us as artists and for us as creators, we get to share the things we're passionate about and our attention to detail. So here you guys go. You know, the work involved in, you know, picking out the wallpaper I wanted, which is a reference to another movie, designing the pizza box, you know, and illustrating that out in Photoshop and putting the table there, coloring the black and white television, finding out what model television it was, and then finding out what the appropriate colors would be for it, all so that we could have this little window to watch movies inside the home of Night of the Living Dead. That's what makes this stuff so fun. That's what makes it a pleasure to do this stuff and to do these shows with you guys, because we can really make stuff as fun as we want to. And that goes from making comics from the ground up.
I gotta go help Ben with the television.
And then, of course, she's still catatonic. And, of course, the maternal nature kicks in a little bit, and you can tell she's concerned. But for those of you guys who are new here, this is my fully painted comic book, Nosfero, the Crypt Walker. This is what this entire channel is built around. Promoting these books, this artwork, and there's going to be a second chance campaign coming for this fully painted book very, very soon. So if you like monsters, if you like adventure, if you like gothic romance and gothic horror, this is the book for you.
Don't be afraid of me. I'm Helen Cooper, Harry's wife.
This place is ridiculous.
Monsters.
Look at this. There's a million weak spots up here.
And adventure. That's what we do.
Give me one of those.
And thank God everybody in this time period knows sometimes you got to have a cigarette. Surrounded by zombies, smoke if you got them.
And they talk about these windows. I can't see a damn thing. There could be 15 million of those things out there. That's how much good these
Very
windows
true.
are.
Why don't you do something to help
You guys
somebody?
are cracking me up. And here we go.
Here I have it. Drag a couple of those chairs together.
There's a socket over here.
We're going to drag a couple of these chairs together so we can watch this movie, and they're going to drag a couple of those chairs together inside the
You
movie.
better watch this and try to understand what's going on. I don't want anyone's life on my hands.
Is there anything I can do to
I don't want to hear any more from you, mister. If you stay up here, you take orders from me. And that includes leaving the girl alone.
It's on, it's on.
There's no sound. Play with the rest.
Here we go.
Reports
This is about to get very meta, guys.
are not the result
There's them watching the TV we're watching.
Mass hysteria. What do they think? We're imagining all this?
Shut up.
in all parts of the country. The wave of murder which is sweeping the eastern third of the nation is being committed by creatures who feast upon the flesh of their victims.
There you go, guys. That's
First
as meta as
eyewitness
it's
accounts
going to
of
get.
this grisly development came from people who were understandably frightened and almost incoherent. Officials and newsmen at first discounted those eyewitness descriptions as being beyond belief. However, the reports persisted. And medical examinations of some of the victims bore out the fact that they had been partially devoured. I think we have some late word of just arriving, and I'll interrupt to bring this to you. This is the latest disclosure in a report from National Civil Defense Headquarters in Washington. It has been established that persons who have recently died have been returning to life and committing acts of murder. A widespread investigation of reports from funeral homes, morgues, and hospitals has concluded that the unburied dead are coming back to life and seeking human victims.
Wow.
It's hard for us here to believe what we're reporting to you, but it does seem to be a fact.
And this is obviously a local newsman. He wrote his own copy for this. Like, they told him what they basically wanted him to say, and he created his own copy, and he hit it out of the park.
Now changed. We're able to report a definite
Incredible.
course of action for you. Civil defense machinery has been organized to provide rescue stations with food, shelter,
Everybody, because this is a Pittsburgh-made production, and everybody in Pittsburgh got excited and were rooting. This is what actual community is about. You know, it's the people where you live, in your space, rooting for you. You know, true community, not collectivism, but people who are excited and proud to help other people in their communities. That's amazing.
I know, that's why I pulled in here, but it's locked.
Emergency meeting called this afternoon by the
And he talks about the gas pumps that are locked outside.
The FBI, the Joint Chiefs of Staff, the CIA has not produced any public information. Why are space experts being consulted about an Earth?
And now they say
so far all the betting on the
space experts are being consulted.
Explorer satellite shot to Venus.
The recent
satellite, you'll recall,
Explorer satellite
but never got here.
Called to Venus, or sent to Venus, returned, but never seemed to have gotten here. Wow.
It was carrying a mysterious high-level radiation.
A Waffle Lodge collider bridge, if you will. You're absolutely right.
Responsible for the wholesale murders we're now suffering. Newsman Don
Incredible.
Quinn in Washington has posed those questions.
It's obvious our best move is to try to get out of here.
How are you going to get over to that pump? Look.
You're coming from a meeting regarding the explosion of the...
Here you go.
Is that right?
Yes, that was the subject of the meeting.
You feel there is a connection between this and the phenomenon?
There's a definite connection.
In other words, you feel that the radiation on the Venus probe is enough to cause these mutations?
There was a very high degree of radiation.
Well, just a minute. I'm not sure that that's certain at all. I don't think that has been
logical explanation that we have at this time.
In other words, it is the military's viewpoint that the radiation is not the cause of the mutation.
I can't speak for the entire military at this time, gentlemen. I must disagree with these gentlemen presently until this is irrefutably proved.
Everything is being done that can be done.
We'll have to hurry for it.
And there's the quote. Everything is being done that can be done. No specifics.
Please, I thought we decided that is not proved yet.
Was the satellite?
Wow.
The satellite was exploded.
An unusual amount of radiation, enough to cause mutation under certain circumstances.
Could have happened.
Have a bearing on it.
It does seem to have a bearing.
Hey, what's up?
Later.
Yes.
There will be a reply.
Yes.
Later this afternoon.
This is Night of the Living Dead. You threw me a little bit because I thought that was an I and not an L.
We have everything possible.
Took me a second there.
You know, we have to try to get out of here.
Yes, indeed. And remember now, too, when you're looking at Dwayne Jones' whole goal in this world is to try to get out.
On space science and technology.
Theirs is to hunker down.
Sign that said Willard.
It's only about 17 miles from here.
You know this area. You from around here?
Judy and I are both from around here. We were on our way up to the lake to go swimming. And Judy had a radio, and we heard the first reports about this. So we knew the old house was here, and we came in and found the lady upstairs dead. Then these other people came. We went down into the basement and put a bar across the door, and it is pretty strong.
How could we possibly get away from here? We've got a sick child, 2 women, 1 woman.
And he says, we've got a sick child. How are we going to get out of here? 2 women, I think he says as well. Craziness.
Your entire staff.
Yeah, this is the height of independent cinema.
To these things that are happening. Do you have any answers at this time?
Yes, we have some answers. But first, let me stress the importance of seeking medical attention for anyone who's been injured in any way. We don't know yet what complications might result from such injuries.
How bad has your kid been hurt?
Good advice, Doctor. Now, how about the basic problem of patients? Well,
Look, you go down there and tell, Judy? Yeah, you tell Judy to come up here and you stay with the kid, all right?
Here it is.
in the cold room at the university, we had a cadaver from which all 4 limbs.
You are. You are.
Sometime early this morning.
You're living in that house.
And began to move
You're
its
living in
trunk.
that house,
It was
Campbell.
dead, but it opened its eyes and tried to move.
They want you upstairs. Did she ask for me? She had to do it.
But the pizza's hot.
I don't
That's all that
understand.
matters.
Baby.
Look at that. Jenny goes down,
Mommy.
I hurt.
and she's saying, I
I'll
hurt.
come back down as soon as I find out what they want.
Thank you.
And I have to tell you, when I was watching this, the thing that I could never stop thinking about is, how long did they have every actor for? Because I'm convinced that people were in the basement based on their days of availability. Because that's how it happens. Yes, the pizza is like the burning bush. That's absolutely right. Was this scientist named Victor? One wonders.
Soak them with gasoline and burn them.
He's like, you've got to shoot him in the head, damage the brain, then you got to light him on fire.
They're just dead flesh and dangerous.
But he's like, you can't just wait to bury them, they'll come right back up.
To tear up into small strips, okay? Is there a fruit cellar here?
Yes.
We need some bottles or jars. Make Molotov cocktails and hold them out while we try to escape.
And Dwayne, I'm sorry, Ben is not kidding around.
I'll see what I can find.
I'll look for the bottles. There's a big key ring down there. There may be a key to the gas pump on it. I'll check.
We can toss the cocktails from a window upstairs. Meantime, a couple of us can go out and try to get the gas. We can come back for the rest of the people.
So here's the situation. His parents went away on a week's vacation. No. Here's the situation for Dwayne. Dwayne has got a truck. Sorry, Ben. Gotta stop calling him by the actor's name. Ben has got a truck. He pulls up, it's out of gas. There are gas pumps outside, but they have locks on them, so you can't pump gas from them. So they have a plan. And his plan was to try to pump gas into his truck so he could keep going and get to some type of civilization. Found this house. They get holed up in this house. There's some folks in the basement. And it's duck and cover or GTFO.
You can go upstairs and toss the cocktails from a window.
And now he's telling that guy, you can toss the cocktails from the window and we can make a plan. So he's... And he says, don't board it up because we're going to have to get back in.
Get back into the house. Then we'll worry about getting everybody into the truck.
So, seems like a simple gas up the truck, hold off the zombies, yeah, come back, pick everybody up, and get the heck out of Dodge. Maybe in a Dodge. I actually don't know what kind of truck that is. And she's holding scissors. She's cutting up the drapes so that they can make torches. And look at that.
How can you smile like that all the time?
You have such a beautiful smile. How do you smile like that?
Come on, honey, we gotta move.
Tom, are you sure about the phone?
The phone is dead out. All you get is a recorded message.
His name is Tom,
If I
Tom
can
and
only call
Jenny.
the folks. They're going to be so worried about us.
Everything
Young
will be
love
all right.
and
as soon as we get
innocence.
to Willard, we'll call them. They might even be there.
I know. Tom? Are you sure we're doing the right thing, Tom?
What about
Are you
getting
sure
out
we're
here?
doing the right thing?
Well, the television said that's the right thing to do. We've got to get to a rescue station.
I don't know.
Come on, honey, you're starting to sound like Mr. Cooper now.
But why do you
Now he's-
have to go out there?
Look, I know how to handle that truck, and I can handle the pump. Ben doesn't know anything about that stuff.
But we're safe in here.
For how
We're
long,
safe
honey?
in here. Why
We're
do you have
safe
to go
now.
out? I mean, this is
But
just
there's gonna be more and
fantastic.
more of those
And I
things.
think it was Michael Dice who
know
said
all
this, and
that.
it's so true. The way that they really understood how different
Remember
people would
when we
react
had
in a
the big
situation, that they took the
Remember how
time
difficult it was
to write
for
these
us to
characters.
convince you that it was right
I
to
really
leave?
do think
Remember we had to go
your
to Willard
ability
then?
to
This
be
isn't a passing
creative
thing, honey.
is part innate, part,
It's
you
not
know,
like
do you have an
just a wind
imagination
passing
and
through.
are you actually productive?
We've got to
But
do
there's another
something,
part of it is,
fast.
what's the quality of the stuff you're putting into your head? And, you know, these guys, they were looking at better and better cinema. They weren't looking at indie grindhouse cinema to make indie grindhouse cinema. That's a big mistake people make.
Where's that big
You got to look at the best stuff you can, you know? Yep, the character development really holds up today, says John, and Timmy Mello says,
work to do.
yes, exactly. Yep. Where is it? Why did that jump? Oh, there it is. There it is. Sorry, Timmy Mello. Channel member Timmy Mello says, when the truck becomes a tin can minus the can opener for the zombies, just wait for it to run out of gas and you have some screaming meat inside of a prize. No doubt.
We better get her downstairs.
Yeah, the key to making making work like this film and even when you're producing a comic book is really keeping a lot of things going in your head at the same time. There's a lot of logistics you got to remember.
I would like to leave. Yes.
And they finally get her in the mode where they're like, okay, she can mentally get to a point where she could possibly leave. And they move her down the basement. And now,
good luck.
Yeah.
It's good luck. Let's go. Let's get that truck. With what little gas is in it, let's get to those pumps and let's get the heck out of Dodge. Oh gosh, I love watching these movies, guys. I love it. It's funny, comics are my work and I love comics, I enjoy comics, but movies are my favorite art form because I don't do it for a job. And it's so fun. I love comic book art, I love reading comics and all of that, but I'm a sucker for movies, and I love watching these movies. Incredible. So now Mr. Cooper is on the second floor, and there are a heck of a lot of zombies, largely because they're crowding the frame. He's got the leg of that table that you saw before, and he's got a torch. He's ready to rock and roll. Here we go. And I gotta tell you guys, for an independent film, that's risky. Yep, indeed. Absolutely, yeah. Shout out and hail to Timmy Mello, channel member, saying the cancel culture is out and about, and let me tell you something, yeah. Like, this movie, and so they make a run for the truck, and it's gonna be locked up after they leave, and man, what was that about? He tries to push the zombie off, but instead just rips his shirt off, that zombie. And he's getting the truck started, and that's actually one of the people you're gonna see later in the film playing a zombie. He's also gonna play somebody else. And now Jenny's like, I gotta be with my man.
Where's it coming? Come on.
And he's like, get your butt in the truck. Because she just wants to be with Tom. Jenny and Tom and Dwayne has got the rifle, thank God. I'm sorry, Ben. I gotta stop calling him by Dwayne Jones. Yep. Nothing good comes without at least a decent bit of risk, 100%. And so off they go with Mr. Cooper watching, and he's got the fire and holding everybody. Man, I tell you what, on an independent film, no sir to the fire. And they're off. Again, on an independent film, I don't know if I want to risk being dragged by a truck, but God bless them. She wants what the heart wants. Couldn't have said it any better, Timmy. And they just want the heart, those zombies. I mean, the torch is burning, the pizza is steaming in frame. Look at this, guys. They finally make it over to the pumps because the zombies are slow and shambling. And that right there is a little bit of what I did with the thumbnail here for this one because it's a great shot. And he's like, none of these keys work. And then he shoots the lock on the pump.
Watch the torch.
Ill-advised, but brave. And then he hits the torch with the gas. And now the truck is on fire, and they've got to get away from the pump. No! Oh, man. And he's like, get out of the truck. He's trying to lead it away from the pumps. Zombies, meanwhile, still shambling, trying to protect the gas pumps. And now they gotta get out of that truck.
Come on, come on.
My jacket's caught.
Her jacket's caught. There we go. That is where the audience gasps. Nobody saw that one coming. The young couple, we just got to know them. Are we doing the right thing, Tom, leaving? And here is the funny irony of it all. Every little decision that they made with the best of intentions and that road to hell, as they say, led to a disaster. And she said, should we really try to go out? Is that the right thing to do? And he's like, I think it's the right thing to do. And then she's like, I trust you. Now, no truck. So no gas for the truck. 2 people dead. And this is what's important to understand about the character of Ben, and what makes it a little complicated to have someone as classically trained as Dwayne Jones doing that role. He made the wrong choice. And here's the part where, at the last minute, he undoes the door and then helps Dwayne Jones hold the zombies at bay. But Dwayne Jones is mad that he took a minute to open the door. There it is. Yep, absolutely right. The tragedy of young, dumb love is 100% a little bit of what they were saying. How's that? 60% of the time, it works every time. Yeah, there's a little bit of Romeo and Juliet there. And now Cooper and Ben are staring each other down once they get the door secured. And Ben just punches him in the face, knocks him to the ground, and hits him again. I mean, seriously. Ben is like...
Drag you out there and feed you those things.
I bet I ought to drag you out there and feed you to those things. Yep, absolutely right. Yep, I'd be pissed too. And now here's one of the more famous scenes in this movie that shocked audiences at the time, and it's a little bit just embarrassing to me. But, you know. Amazing. Just amazing. And now the zombies are having barbecue. I have to be honest with you, I'm not 100% certain, but I do feel like one of the zombies was being played by the actress who was playing Jenny in that one of those last shots. So we're having a lot of crossover from having a small cast here, but it works. You know, it works for this flick. It's so funny. I mean, when you talk about a shoestring budget and what's possible, you know, again, I've got to say this over and over and over again. It's not about what's probable, it's about what's possible. Because anybody who goes and does an independent endeavor, whether it's what I'm doing here at Shanthan Jetty Art, with Nosfero the Crypt Walker, with Spring Ball, with all of the stuff I have in the pipeline, the second chance of Nosfero the Crypt Walker is going to be coming soon. It's all about the independence. And now he's sitting there trying to take care of his wounds. Wife comes upstairs.
There's supposed to be another broadcast at 3 o'clock.
And she's like, is there another broadcast?
Oh, only 10 more minutes? We don't have very long to wait.
Yep.
We can leave.
This is so wrong.
Oh, we better leave soon.
Says Timmy Mello, channel
10
member.
minutes to 3.
This is so wrong, eats piece of pizza. I like where your head's at, Timmy Mello. I like where your head's at.
You know anything about this area at all? I mean, is Willard the nearest town?
Soon, Camel Moon. I don't know what number you are, but it should be soon. It should be soon. I'm almost a 400 now, and then there's a bunch that are
Let's try
almost
to
to
get
400. Let me just say.
motel before
So
dark.
insane, the amounts. But it should be
those things
soon.
turned
I
your
think
car
you're in the
off?
fives.
You think we can get
Are you in the
it back on its wheels
500s?
and
I don't think
drive?
you're in the
Where is it?
600s, are you?
Seems like it was pretty far away.
Oh, Dollface is still here. Oh, you're like number 680. You got in under the wire? Understood, Camel. No worries. No worries, brother.
What's wrong with her? How'd she get hurt?
One of those things grabbed her.
Bit her on
Here it
the
is.
arm.
How did she get hurt?
Who knows what kind of disease those things
One
carry.
of those things grabbed her and
she
bit her
conscious?
on the arm. Now, this is really important. I'm literally the last dude.
Well, one of us could try to get to the car.
And this is the thing that just cracks me up. What happens if you get bit by a zombie? Well, we don't really know when this movie comes out. We know afterwards. Yep, Timmy Mello is with me on this one. She what? Hang on a second. We gotta board up the basement, but with her down in it, right? That's how it is. Bordeaux saying howdy. Howdy, Bordeaux. How are you doing, my friend? Yeah, she what? Yep, howdy, my friend. How are you? And of course, everybody is having ribs because it's that kind of party. All of a sudden, our movie transports us to the barbecue of Beale Street in Memphis, Tennessee, or so I wish. And I've had barbecue there, and it's delicious.
The level of the mysterious radiation continues to
Now,
increase steadily.
strange radiation is happening. What is going on?
That dead bodies will continue to be transformed into the flesh-eating ghouls. All persons who die during this crisis, from whatever cause, will come back to life to seek human victims.
So anybody who dies is going to come back to life as a zombie.
By cremation. Our news cameras have just returned from coverage.
And you know,
of the
you
search
can't,
and destroy
you know,
operation
if you
against
got to
the
either have a
ghouls.
really
This one conducted
amazing
by Sheriff
actor at your
Connor
disposal,
McClellan in Butler
or
County,
ask a
Pennsylvania.
local news anchor
Now
man
let's go to that film report.
to do
All
real
law
news. And
enforcement
so
agencies
now
and the
this
military
right
have been
here
organized to search
is a
out
famous
and destroy the
local,
marauding ghouls. Survival Command Center at the Pentagon
you know, public. I think it was public access or late night monster
killed
show.
By a shot in the head or a heavy blow to the
Personality,
skull.
and he plays the
Officials
on the
recorded
scene
as
news
explaining
reporter.
That since the brain of a ghoul has been activated by the radiation, the plan is kill the brain and you kill the
Kill
ghoul.
the brain. Here you got it.
What do you think from the supply wagon, Gus?
No, we're all right. Hey, Cass, put that thing all the way in the fire. We don't want it getting up again. All right,
Chief McClellan,
Here
how's
you go.
everything going?
Oh, things aren't going too bad. Men are taking it pretty good. You want to get on the other side of the road over there?
That's right, Timmy. You know it.
These things.
Well, we killed 19 of them today right in this area. Those last 3 we caught trying to claw their way into an abandoned shed. They must have thought somebody
Here they
was
talk
in
about it.
their window. We heard them making all kind of noise. We came over and beat them off, blasted them down. Yeah, okay.
Chief, if I were surrounded by 6 or 8 of these things, would I stand a chance with them?
Well, there's
Here's
no
the
problem.
news.
If you had a gun, shoot them in the head. That's a sure way to kill them. If you don't, get yourself a club or a torch. Beat them or burn them. They go up pretty easy.
Well, Chief McClellan, how long do you think it will take you until you get the situation under control?
Well, that's pretty hard to say. We don't know how many of them there are. We know
So
when we
yes,
find 'em, we
it's
can kill 'em.
Bill Chili Billy Cardell
they're
as
dead,
himself. Cardell was a
All
well-known
messed up.
Pittsburgh,
in
well-known in
time,
Pittsburgh
would you
as
say
a
you ought to
TV
be
presenter
able
who
to wrap this up
hosted
in
a
24
horror
hours?
film anthology series
Well,
called Chiller
we don't
Theater.
really know.
You guys may know
We
this.
know
His
we'll be
daughter
into it
Lori
most of the night,
would go on
probably
to
into the
star
early
in
morning.
Romero's
We're
Day
working our
of the
way
Dead
for it
in
well, and we'll team
1985.
up with a National Guard
There
over
you
there,
have
and
it.
then we'll be able to give a more definite view.
Thank you very much, Chief McClellan. This is Bill Cardell, WIC.
Bill Cardell, going by his own
Bill.
name. How cool is that?
Official spokesman declined to speculate just how long it may take to kill off. all
Yep, to
the
what they bum rush
as
you.
long as the heavy radiation
Amen. These are the concerns. Oh, this is radiation mutation. Yeah, there you have it.
Box in the cellar?
I don't know.
Isn't it amazing?
It isn't the fuse.
So well done.
Power lines are down.
So the power just went out.
I have to get that gun.
Haven't you had enough?
But 2 people are dead already on account of that guy. Take a look out that
And
window.
now he's talking to his wife. He's got a plan to get the gun away from Ben. And he said 2 people are dead because of that guy, and the zombies are figuring out rocks and pieces of wood So they're feeling a little bit more creative. Yep, the power is out. Coward with a gun, what could possibly go wrong? Yeah, a lot. No power, no lights. And that sound. It's just a thriller. Yep. Fear is the second deadliest foe in this film. Timmy Mello, channel member, chiming in and always on point. No getting around it, my friend. You are always on point. And now it's like, help me. Help me. Get the gun. Help me. I gotta. And now he sees the gun. He's got the opportunity. And that guy is not helping Ben. He's only thinking about the gun. And Ben is like,
go ahead. You want to stay up here now? Helen, get the cellar. Get the cellar now. Move!
and now he says, get in the cellar, knocks the gun, and now starts wrestling for the gun with Mr. Cooper. He wins, and this, I gotta tell you, boom! Dang! Amen. And now she's getting grabbed by the zombies. Rough. The power of hysteria. Absolutely right, Timmy Mello. And now he's been shot and he's rolling down to the basement in pretty rough shape. Sort of in his death throes. Yep, maybe if they... you guys are cracking me up. Yep, John says, Shanth, maybe if they just left a plate of sandwiches for the zombies. Rambo only needed a sandwich 100% right. Absolutely. Cost him his wife for his fear. And so now he falls down on the ground reaching for his kid. His wife is, yeah, absolutely needs a sandwich. His wife is fighting, and now all of a sudden, Barbara is going to come to her senses and try to come to the rescue to help her. Barbara's like, wait a second, I need to snap out of this and help. She grabs a piece of wood. She starts helping. And meanwhile, Mom runs down to the basement to see her daughter is now a flesh-eating zombie chowing down on Dad having a hand sandwich. And she's like, oh, baby, no. No, baby. You don't need to be a zombie. And baby has got other plans. Woo! That is some rough stuff. Yep. So now it's just Ben and Barbara, where we started, trying to keep the zombies out, especially the initial zombie. And then the door, the wood finally comes down, and who's there? With his glove? And it's Johnny. And the worst possible way for Barbara to go. Johnny pulls her out into the horde of zombies to be eaten. Rough. And Timmy Mello, I'm just going to tell you this right now. That would have flown in my household. There's no discipline in this house. Now zombie number 1 comes in through the door. And little child there tries to take a chunk out of Ben. Ben is like, no, little child. Get away. Together forever in death. Amen. And now, finally, what is Ben doing? Ben is going down to the basement to fortify himself. This entire movie, Ben has been trying to stay out of the basement and saying it's a death trap, and every decision that Ben made was wrong. That's the thing he's such a likable character because of Dwayne Jones's performance. I will say this forever. Dwayne Jones's performance, and I don't mind it. I think it's great. Greatly shifted the meaning of this film. Because while Ben makes his wrong decisions, he's the most likable character in the story. He's got that charisma. So here we are. Ben gets, finally goes and does the thing that Cooper was telling them they ought to do. Does that make Cooper a great guy? No, but it does make him right. So Ben basically cost the life of every single person he was saying, this guy's stupid, it's a death trap down there. Now his only chance at survival is to go down to the cellar where it's safe. He's killed Cooper, but you know what they say. The only thing better than killing Cooper once is, of course, killing Cooper twice. So here we go. Yeah, took Cooper down. And then, and this is such a great metaphor for all of the choices that he's made. He realizes yep. Enrique, what's up? Move, Shanth. Move a little. That's right. What's up, Enrique Carrera? How are you doing? So now he's surrounded by the zombies upstairs, and he has had to shoot or been responsible for the death of all of his allies. Enrique, my friend, it is great to have you here. Welcome, welcome. My God. Crazy ka-chunk boom! Ka-chunk boom! Says Timmy Mello. Channel member, rock star, legend. It is great to see you. And now the zombies have taken over the house, and they really don't know what to do. They're those people who come over to your house, and it's like, you're like, why are you here? They don't even know why they're there. It's like, get out. You know what I'm saying? So here we go. Night of the Living Dead is over. It's now morning. You know? And for our friends out there with their weapons, it is now open season on zombies. Undead house party, baby. That's what we do here. Yep. It's a shooting gallery. They're all lined up, walking in a line and taking out the trash, so to speak. That's right. And little things like that add to the production, you know? Getting local law enforcement and the news chopper to participate in your film, that's what they did. K9 unit. Yeah, then the government showed turn the lights back on. Yep.
Hey, Vince, Al, you want to get about 4 or 5 men and a couple dogs? There's a house over here behind those trees.
And then there's Bill Cardell.
Right, you go here, Bill.
Yeah,
He's one of the ringleaders.
We meet up with the National Guard.
Where'd you get the coffee?
One of the volunteers. You're doing all the work. You take it.
And look at that, the great ad-libbing.
Be wrapped up here about 3 or 4 more
you know,
hours. We'll probably get in
where'd you get the coffee? And he's like, one of the volunteers. You should have it.
Nick, you
great
and
ad-libbing.
Come with me?
Well, don't check in the office, see what's happening. All right, Steve. Tell him we're going to stay with it and everything.
Tammy D, how are you doing? How could I forget this? They're coming for you, Barbara. That's right. Shout out to channel member Tammy D in the house. It is great to see you, Tammy D, and thank you for your support. So now here is the part. And this is the part that is what made this movie, I think it would have been iconic as a movie no matter what. This made it over the top. That's right. Rock on yourself, Tammy D. God bless you. And so he hears all the shooting. He hears the cavalry coming. I guess he's assuming zombies cannot shoot, you know. And the cars are kind of, you know, nearing.
They need you down there by the barn.
Yep, and they need you down there by the farm, and everybody's going on over there. Here you go. Glad to hear it, Tammy D.
Somebody had a cookout here, Vince. Yeah, sure looks like it, Cop.
And then they're seeing the truck, and he goes, somebody had a cookout here. Oh, man. That was Jenny and Tom, man. So finally, after he's been forced to do, by his own choice, to go down into the cellar, and look at that, it's open, you know, open season on zombies out there. Oof. Yeah, Timmy Mello, you ain't kidding. That is morbid. And
Get up here.
now they come up to the house.
Nick, Tony, Steve, you want to get out in that field and build me a bonfire?
And he's emerging from the basement because he's like, I don't want to be in that basement anyway.
You, drag that out of here and throw it on the fire. Nothing down here? All right, go ahead down and give him a hand. Let's go check out the house. There's something there. I heard a noise.
And now he goes up to the window, tired.
Hit him in the head, right between the eyes.
With his mouth open, stumbling, exhausted from a night of fighting. And they take him as a zombie, and they shoot him. Whew! Amen, I made it! Oops, spoke too soon. And that is the darkest ending you could have to this movie. And Ben ends up on the fire. Ben, played by Dwayne Jones, shout out to him. Barbara, played by Judith, which is why I kept wanting to call her Judy. Tom was played by Keith Wayne. Judy was played by Judith Ridley, so there was another Judy in this film. And she did makeup and also played one of the zombies. And there you go. People just in shock as these credits rolled. Yep, poor Ben. Yep. Yep. Don't shoot alive inside. That's right. Boom. Timmy Mello, that is the stuff that these movies are made of. And that's why we've got a classic on our hands. Cult classic. See, right as I said it, Tammy D comes in for the win. Cult classic channel member, Tammy D. Well said. You know, to me, the living room and the house of Night of the Living Dead, as far as iconic visuals, is up there with the Psycho house. And that was the fun of tracking down what, oh, that felt good, what model television it was and what brand. It was a Motorola, and setting up this scene because, guys, making artwork, streaming, everything we do here, everything I want to do on this channel is about that attention to detail that I love so much. It's why when I seal up every, package I'm mailing out, every comic, it's got that little sticker made with Liberty in the U.S.A., all those stickers that I hand print. That's what it's about, and that's why it's great. And there we have the end. And it's amazing. Happy endings are for nerds, says Emo Trash. There you go. Yep. I make sure to watch it every Halloween. There you go, Tammy D, 100%. Yeah, no happy endings here. And in fact, because it was such a bleak ending, that made them go a different direction with Romero's next film, which was many years later. I think almost a decade, was it almost 2 decades later? Or a decade later, Dawn of the Dead. And Dawn of the Dead, there's 2 characters live instead of everyone dying. So that's definitely much better. what would this movie have been had they done focus groups? It wouldn't have been, you know? Well, John, seems we're back to not using focus groups. Yeah, amen. God knows what they're using now. But it's craziness, guys. And that is the fun of doing this stuff. That's the fun of these streams. That's the fun of watching these flicks and having these watch parties, because they get us excited about entertainment, but more importantly, they get us excited about the power of imagination and the power of independence. And that's the thing that is exciting, and that to me is what this space is about. And that's why I'm where I'm at. That's why I'm in Comicsgate, you know. This was your typical Shakespearean tragedy. Yeah, it was Macbeth. I mean, this guy had the chorus telling him, don't do this, don't do that, and he just had to do it. You know, that's the way it is, guys. You know, and I don't know, yeah, where's BLM, said Tammy. Yeah, exactly. Well, here's the funniest thing about this flick, right? This movie has been used as by a lot of people, framed for its politics. And what people are quick to point out, right? What people are quick to point out is Ben, played by Dwayne Jones, being shot at the end, which has nothing to do with the fact of them thinking they see some movement in a house that looks zombie-like, right? But here's the funny thing. From the moment this movie starts, nobody brings up or has an issue with and mentions Ben's race. Not once. That's what makes this movie more timeless. If they had done that, it would have felt so tired. It would have just felt so tired, because nobody's going to be thinking about that in a zombie apocalypse. It's ridiculous. If you see undead people eating other people, a lot of stuff's going to go by the wayside. And thank God they didn't do that. Oh, they were there, Tammy. They were there. That's right. That's right. And these movies are not timeless when you do that. It's weird. It's like it makes the movie so painfully dated. And I'm glad that they didn't change the character when they cast their friend Dwayne Jones. I think it would have been weird, and I don't know what that would have been. God help us. It would have probably been embarrassing. But it's craziness. Yeah. Yeah, did old man speedster zombie guy? He probably did. He probably sprinted. Yeah, and went on to be, I guess, a president of the United States, for all you know. You never know. And so, yeah, guys, that's the stuff I love about doing this show and doing movies. And if you're new here, guys, if you are new to Shanthan Jetty Art, we do a lot of different stuff here, guys. We do a lot of different stuff. But let me show you some fun stuff here. So let's move out of the zombie house. Let's go into this space right here. Let's go into the Pizza Live space. And then I want to show you guys, if I can, let me do some adjusting here. Are these the overlays? I think these are the overlays. Let's unlock this. And we're going to make that a little bit bigger. There we go. And now what we're going to do is we're going to turn off actually, we're going to do this first. See if this works. Okay, that didn't work. Oh, I know what I have to do. It's a different type of party, folks. Here we go. So let's take a look at what we do here on this channel typically. And there's going to be some art streams and things, as always. That is the main aspect of what we do here, is we talk about comics, art, and this is my book, Nosfero, the Crypt Walker. So if you haven't seen it, this right here is what we do. This is my work. This is my comic, lettered by the incomparable Eric Weathers, whom I'm also doing a pinup for his book, Battle Brick Road. So if you like H.P. Lovecraft, Lovecraftian horror, beautifully painted comic books, and if you like streams where you get to see people painting in glorious 1080p, thanks to Ecamm, all of my streams, and past, present, and future, are filmed in 1080p, and whether I have any trouble or not during a stream with resolution, they always get uploaded in 1080p, because that's how the software works. So if there's anything that goes out of focus, it doesn't go, it's broadcast out of focus, but it's recorded in full focus. And so it gets to you the way that I intend for you to see it. There we go. Let's move this light over here a little bit. There we go. That's a little bit better. So you can get a sense of what this comic book is about, what the artwork looks like, and what fun and what dreams may come and what fun we might have when we're in a world of creativity, imagination, and the support that comes from being in Comicsgate, being in the Iron Age, making independent comics with no holds barred except for, work as hard as you can and create something beautiful. And that is what the goal is with all of this stuff, is to create beauty, create monsters, illustrate werewolves. And this is a story about the Lovecraftian mythos. It's a story of faith. It's very Hammer horror movies meet H.P. Lovecraft. And that is the thing that makes it so much fun, is getting so that you guys get to be right up on this work and see how it's made, see how it comes together. And that's what makes it fun. And I'm always working on new stuff in the background to have for ash cans and new ideas. This is a story I'm working on called Monster Rat Kin of Cthulhu. And Thulu is probably the proper pronunciation. But if you're one of those folks who's already ordered the hardcover edition of Ghosts of the Badlands by Razor Fist, this is a poster illustration I did for it, and it's going to be in the hardcover edition. You can watch this kind of painting, and all paintings get made. This is the cover underway for Nosfero 2, featuring flintlocks and, of course, a Dracula-inspired character and a new hero that you're going to get to know inside of that world. I've also recently completed a painting for Michael Bancroft's, and the link is in the description. Do not sleep on this book. LUCENT 2 Painted Death. It is a highly complicated, almost a playing card composition painting where you've got two different directions for it. Let me move this up just a little bit so that you can get a better look at this painting. I'm going to move my phone and my white gloves I use while I work and sign books. This right here, Secret of Nim Nosferatu edition. You know what's so funny about that? Secret of Nim is one of the biggest influences for me right now, aesthetically, when I'm looking at Monster Rat Kin of Cthulhu. That's exactly what I'm thinking about. What a fantastic movie. I haven't seen it in ages. I hope it's been remastered in Blu-ray. So yeah, so this is the piece for Michael Bancroft. And last and certainly not least is this painting right here for the great Eric Weathers, letterer of Nosfero the Crypt Walker. And this is my painting for the Battle Brick Road poster or print book that's going to be 11 by 17. Make sure if you have not picked it up yet, you do, because this is going to be one of the few places you can get an 11 by 17 poster print of my artwork. When I'm done with this painting, it is going to be all of the quality that you are familiar with from my work. It's got almost every character, main cast member in the story I decided to work up into this pinup piece. And also with the flying monkeys, it gave me a chance to give Thea, who is our Dorothy in Oz, Thea Gale, wings so that I could make this a reference to Flight of the Valkyries. And I even have these sort of metal tendrils right there, and they're kind of writing out Oz. So this painting has been so much fun to work on, and I thank Eric Weathers, my letterer, for and my painting brother and my art brother. And again, if you don't know what Battle Brick Road is, this is Battle Brick Road. It is a comic book about the world of, or the idea of, the Wizard of Oz meets action and adventure, science fiction. It is an incredibly cool book. The character of Scarecrow has already become a big fan favorite. There is Thea. This ain't your parents' Oz, people. This ain't your parents' Oz by a long shot. And so that's what makes this book so cool. And if you don't get excited, if this doesn't get your, as what is it, Gary Oldman said in Leon the Professional, if this drawing of Scarecrow doesn't get you juices flowing, and that's my walk-in, it's not really my Oldman, I don't know what the hell happened there. But this right here, look at Scarecrow and tell me that isn't one of the coolest characters in independent comics. This is some cool stuff. Wizard of Oz meets Halo, says Emo Trash. Amen. So yeah, so this is My Brother, written by Zeb Hatfield and my brother Eric Weathers, and really outstanding stuff is happening in the world of Battle Brick Road, which is, for my money, one of the coolest titles of a book ever. Battle Brick Road 2, the link is in the description, but you can catch up on Battle Brick Road 1, and you can get this poster collection, this print collection, this 11 by 17 print collection. So please go and back it now. You do not want to miss this one. So many people have been reaching out to me because they missed Nosfero, the Crypt Walker. And as you know, from as Camel said in the chat, he got in just under the wire. But there's going to be a second chance to get this book. It is not going to be, I mean, it's the second printing of it is going to be not as cheap as the first printing was, because this book cost a lot to print. But the second chance to get the first printing of this book is going to be way more expensive, because when you get in early on the ground floor on my campaigns, you are getting it because you are financing, in theory, you are financing the production of the book, although oftentimes they cost much more to make a fully painted book than most people can probably imagine in terms of time and labor. But when you get in on the ground floor, your reward is, you don't get it the second you back it, because I gotta make the thing. That's what we're funding. That's what crowdfunding is. But you are getting it for way cheaper than folks are who jump on later. And that is what it's about. Yep, I respect thank you, John, for putting that in the chat, because that really does mean a lot to me, and it matters to me. I respect the original backers. Like, that's what it's about, man. You got to respect the original backers, and you got to respect your channel members. That's why I've got the credits of every show ends with my channel members' names. That's what's important. Yeah, and time is the most expensive of anything out there. You're absolutely right, Timmy Mello, 100%, guys. And I want to be in an independent space where I've got incredible backers. I'm so grateful to Comicsgate. I'm so grateful to John and Ethan and the folks who were the first people over the wall, and your boy Zach, and everybody who has made this possible. And I try to put on a great show for you guys, and I want to be, give you guys a chance to be flies on the wall as I make the books that you guys are going to be able to back and you guys are going to be able to own. There's a giant stack of books there, signed, being bagged and boarded one at a time by yours truly. And every single book, when it's sealed, is sealed with a sticker. I don't know if I even have one here. Do I? Yep. Is sealed with a sticker. This one's been on my desk and is dusty. Is sealed with a sticker that says, "Made with Liberty in the USA," which you see at the end of all of my shows. We are custom from start to finish. Beautiful trading cards come with the first printing of this. Let me see if I can find them. Here is the Phantomas trading card. That's Nosfero's dog right there. And then one of the villains, Lascivia, that's her trading card that comes with Nosfero. Beautiful, beautiful glossy cards. And then my favorite thing that I came up with when I was coming up with the ideas for this campaign is, of course, the Nosfero the Crypt Walker bookmark. What was fun about this is the side you'll see when you get your book. I always have this side face up, and it says, and by the way, it can be flipped either way. So it works this direction or that direction. But because I have the text down here, it doesn't work either way as well as it could if there was no text. But here's the thing. I printed on both sides. So this is the side that's just the artwork, so that whichever way fickles your tansy, as I say, you can use the bookmark however you want to. And of course, I have Laurel up there, and she is reading a book with Nosfero on it. And that makes this whole thing fun. So I really enjoy it. And yes, and I had the incredible opportunity. It's a very good point, awesome one. I swear I thought it was an intervention. But I got contacted by my brother, Jeremy Ice and Fire. And Jeremy Ice and Fire said, "Hey, Sean, do you have time to meet? We want to talk to you about something." And I was like, "Is this an intervention?" And I got in there with Aldous and Jeremy and Snuggie, and they said, "We got a bookmark from Kenneth Roquefort, who did the cover on Battle Brick Road 2, and has another book called Groken. That's fun. I think Groken 3 is funding right now. And we're inviting artists to see if they want to do a bookmark for this bookmark and stickers campaign. And so I did a double-sided bookmark for that campaign, and it was fantastic. It was a great opportunity. So I'm going to put these down here. Hang on a second, because you guys brought it up. Let me grab it. Hang on a second. All right. Here we go. So speaking of Comicsgate lore, this was my first Comicsgate illustration job. This was my CYBERFROG trading card. And so if you're looking to be a Shanthan Jetty Art completist, that's the card number. Yeah, it's incredible. It's incredible to see this stuff and how it comes together. This came out in 2022. My God. And then if you backed the bookmark and sticker campaign, you had 2 opportunities on my bookmark, both double-sided. This was one side, and then you flip it over and the image continues. And you've got these great characters right here from Rob Arnold's comic book, The Replicator. And that is the stuff that makes it fun. But there was something even more exciting about that particular campaign, and that was that they did one version of my bookmark on metal. And if you haven't seen these, my friends, if you haven't seen these incredible, let me see if I can get this out of here without damaging it. If you haven't seen your artwork printed on metal, then you are missing out. This right here is one of the coolest bits of my artwork that you could ever get. The printed on metal replicator artwork. Just an outstanding, whoops, that ring light ain't going to help us. Just an outstanding job right there on this bookmark. So yeah, really enjoyed how this whole thing came together. You know, and it's, that's the thing that is so exciting about working in this space. It is full-blown independence, and we are making things that are fan-funded, and we need everything we can. So to my channel members, you have my eternal thanks for all of your support. For my backers, you have my thanks, because we're doing... it's a lot to do this work. We want to push back. We want to make the kind of work that's inspiring and that can't be done anywhere else, because maybe people don't like the subject matter. Maybe people don't like the themes that we're tackling. Maybe who knows? Who even cares? Maybe they just don't like quality books. I don't know. But it doesn't matter. The obstacles that we face, and I think I've heard Razorfist say this a few times, we will work much harder for much less credit, much less success. We're going to have to work twice as hard for half as much. But if you guys can help us get that, it will be enough for us to live and enough for us to make this stuff happen, because brushes, are those, did you just ask if those are Ninja Turtles in the background? Oh, my friend, you bet those are Ninja Turtles. Let me see if I can make this happen. There you go. Those are the NECA Kevin Eastman. I'm trying to keep a nude figure drawing that's right over here out of frame of one of the sketches I've done on stream. But those are the NECA original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. But right up here next to my desk, I have got a one of the 100th reproductions of the black and white first issue of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I am a massive... It was the first comics I read were the trade paperback or the collected Ninja Turtles. It came out in 1985 from First Publishing. So yeah, I'm a massive Ninja Turtles fan. Unabashedly massive Ninja Turtles fan. So yeah, I love this stuff. Yeah, Shanth and Tom hold hands on the TMNT. You said it, man. That's what it's about, guys. Yep. Indiegogo, there it is right there. Nosfero the Crypt Walker, guys. Check it out. Emo Trash, they can be, but each have to stand up on their own. It tried to stop the gatekeeping. Are those, I feel like I'm missing a whole conversation. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we have to do this. We have to do this. Oh, I think Tom talked about Ronin today. Yeah, that's a great book. Are you talking about the last Ronin or Frank Miller's Ronin? Either way, it's great. And I think that this is the thing for me as an independent creator, is that my wife and I were talking about this today, and we were saying that, I got to get another campaign launched because, we're we're coasting on fumes right now. But my goal is to get these books out there and get everything off in the mail. And my goal was at least to be where I'm at right now before I launch another campaign. But that's going to have to happen soon for financial reasons. That just has to happen. But we're also really happy with the support that we've been getting here, because these books cost a lot to make. They take a lot of time. Oh, they're doing a Last Ronin movie adaptation. That should be really cool. Shanth, was taking if blue hairs could be in CG. Yes. I gotcha. Yeah. I mean, here's the funniest thing about it, right? Is that what you need is skill, talent, and the desire to go out there and use the Malin method, the John Malin method. And that's why we're here. And that's what I learned to do this stuff. And I'm not alone. And it's been successful for a lot of people because it works. So shout out to Coach. Shout out to all of you guys. So here's what we're going to do, guys. We're going to wrap this stream up because it is late. We've been going for about 2 hours. That's pretty decent for us. Come back and rewatch anytime because it's going to be up. And as I always like to say, guys, I'm going to close out with the channel members' credits. And I want to also say this because I think this is important, as I say at the end of every stream. Speak easy, stay gold, keep the faith, and peace, because that is what my name means, guys. From the bottom of my heart, thank you. And as I'm now going to start saying, from the heart of Lovecraft country, in the birthplace of American religious liberty, my name is Shanth and Jetty. This is Shanth and Jetty Art. And thank you for being here. And I will see you guys very, very soon. Thank you, channel members, and everybody take care.